Hey dudes, Sylphite Soltis, back again for another top 5 list. There's lots of reasons why people loved Classic World of Warcraft. The questing, the dungeons, the social aspect, and more. And while I appreciate all of these, I feel that there's one aspect of the game that often gets overlooked: the music. Well, while sitting at my day job listening to WoW music on YouTube, I thought to myself, man, I really love the music of this game. I should totally do a top 5 list on it. And so, here I am. Keep in mind that I love every single track from the original World of Warcraft for one reason or another. So trying to narrow it down to just 5 was super challenging, involving many hours of listening, re-listening, shifting placements, and so on. The composers and musicians really outdid themselves with these tracks. But anyway, with that disclaimer out of the way, here are my top 5 picks for the best music tracks from Classic World of Warcraft. Number 5. The Darkmoon Faire music. Have you ever been to a Renaissance fair? Me neither, but this is basically what I imagine it would sound like. This track was definitely my favorite back in the day. And that says a lot because I loved all of the music, even back then. Every time the fair was in town in Elwyn Forest, I would head to Goldshire and hang out there listening to this track while doing whatever it is I was doing. It's just so upbeat and happy and yet old-timey that I can't get enough of it. Though I also like the new Darkmoon Faire track added in the Cataclysm, if I'm not mistaken, the original is just way better in my opinion. It really established that atmosphere of a medieval fair, and the memories of the time I spent getting sages' fortunes, delivering coarse waitstones, and just generally messing around in Elwyn Forest whenever this group came to town always come flooding back to me when I hear this song. Number 4. Ironforge. If you ask any Alliance player from back in the day for a song that they remember, I'd be willing to bet that 9 out of 10 would say this track. A massive city that held the vast majority of Alliance players throughout most of vanilla, Ironforge is where many of us spent our time, waiting for dungeons, raids, looking for enchants, buying and selling goods in the auction house, or just idling around for no reason. And so, with all that time spent there, Ironforge's theme is burnt into our minds. But that's not the only reason it's so high on my list. It's also got one of the most epic and dramatic beats in the game, stirring up a sense of Alliance pride as you listen. And if you don't believe me, listen to it for yourself. Whenever I hear this song, I think back to my priest and how I could march around the city streets, past the auction house, and out of the gates along with hundreds of other proud soldiers of the Alliance. And how, at one point or another, all of us called this dwarven city home. Number 3. The Pirate Tavern theme. Okay, let's face it. All of the taverns in Classic World of Warcraft have amazing soundtracks, some of the best in the game in their own right. They make you feel warm, safe, and cozy. But in my opinion, the Pirate Tavern theme that plays in Booty Bay's Inn is the most unique and thematically appropriate. First off, it just sounds like fun. The heavy, swinging beat reminds one of a salty sea shanty, with appropriate instrumentals to add to this feeling. However, it also retains elements of the overall tavern theme, making it recognizable as a place for rest as well. Hearing this song always reminds me of my times back in the day when I'd hearth back to Booty Bay after questing, clear my bags of any unnecessary items, and then buy some super potent alcoholic beverage from the bartender to to get Sylvite completely smashed, all while jamming out to this jolly tune. Lots of fun memories with this one. And that's why it's my number 3. Number 2. Zagreb Voodoo. Now, it's no secret that I love trolls and everything about Stranglethorn Vale. Seriously, have you seen any of my other videos? And while the STV theme is definitely amazing, I think that this particular jungle song is just a bit more engaging. It starts off slow, but heavy, giving an impression of something wicked in the distance, watching you. But in less than 12 seconds, it's upon you, an enemy giving chase. The trolls, with their voodoo magic, are up to something, and you're right in the middle of it. Though I never experienced Zagreb back in the day, I went there many times to grind Zandalar tribe reputation in Wrath of the Lich King, and this track always blew me away. The drums, the horns, and the twists in the song, they all still give me chills and remind me of this wild and exotic place. Plus, this track is extremely short when you compare it to others, only around 1 minute and 20 seconds, which really makes it especially effective in drawing out that feeling of uneasiness in the jungle when it comes on and then abruptly ends. Personally, I can't wait to dive into Zagreb on weekends and run around waiting for this track to kick in, blazing in my headphones. An awesome song, and I love everything about it. Of course, there are so many songs that are just absolutely epic from Classic World of Warcraft that it's really hard to place some of them in a top 5 list. So here are some honorable mentions. And number 1. Legacy. One of the only tracks that I actually knew properly by name going into this list. Legacy is an amazing song with several great parts. First and foremost, it opens with an atmosphere of mystery about it. A single oboe, before being joined shortly after by other instruments one by one. Then, all the instruments work together, like the members of a party, to paint the image in the listener's mind, an image of mystery and discovery. At 1 minute and 3 seconds, the song begins to pick up with scaling violins in the background, adding to the atmosphere of a much wider world, one in which your player is a part. Then finally, at around 1 minute and 43 seconds, the music begins to slow dramatically, focusing your attention on what's to come. A boss? A puzzle? Your impending doom? No. The most epic part of the song, a blend of strings and rhythmic percussion that is both mysterious and exciting. You've journeyed deep into the dungeon with your party, and now you are rewarded with the wondrous treasure within. To me, this song encapsulates the World of Warcraft dungeon experience. Still remember the first time I heard it play, particularly the ending, in Scarlet Monastery back in late 2005, when my group approached the end of the dungeon. The epicness of that moment forever burned into my mind as the group died to zealots, ran back to the dungeon, and did it all again. I noticed that whenever there was a particularly epic moment in a dungeon or a raid, this song would be playing in the background. And in fact, the ending is so epic that I've even noticed it used in other places outside of World of Warcraft as well. If you follow classic content, you've probably noticed that Alex Sensual uses it in his end screens. But I doubt anyone watching this knows that there was a documentary that aired in Mongolia about a famous person that used this song as its background music. In fact, when I saw it and I heard this song, I turned to my wife and I laughed. Darling, that's my favorite song from World of Warcraft they're using for background music. And if it's epic enough to be used for a documentary out in a country where next to no one has even heard of World of Warcraft, then you'd better believe that it's my number one. Do you agree with my list? What are your favorite tracks from Classic World of Warcraft? Leave a comment letting me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, but until next time, take it easy, guys.